Hi, I'm Allie, and welcome to Spirit Annex. Is it possible to connect with the spirit world to pick up on the thoughts of the living? Can we develop our own psychic powers so that we can communicate with loved ones that have passed over to the other side? Joining us today is Master Clairvoyant Cyd the Psychic, and she's going to help us bridge the gap between the physical world and the spirit world so that we can communicate with the dead. Welcome, Cyd.
Thank you.
So what is a Master Clairvoyant?
There's a lot of difference between regular clairvoyants and psychics and a master clairvoyant, which I am one. I have the ability to project myself into anybody's life that's past, present, or future, and in doing so, I have a live motion picture of your life. It's me standing in your world, and I describe to you what it is that I see. I have the ability to interchange that at any time. That can be from your perspective, my perspective, spirit's perspective. It can be, it's like live. I smell it, taste it, feel it, hear it. I'm there with you in whatever moment. That's past, present, or future, and anything that you're trying to project at any time also. So when I feel your body, I feel your emotional, mental, physical, and etheric body. So I feel everything about you, those people, circumstances, and situations. And then when I hear something, I have a voice that's inside of my head, comes directly from spirit. They tell me exactly what you need to know, so I tell you. The key is that some people have psychic ability to just read people, okay? They can read the thoughts and the minds of people, and they can't go any higher than that. Mediums are individuals that can actually read from the spirit world. Spirits come to them all the time, and that's where they get their information from. Intuitives are people that have a good instinct and a good feeling towards somebody. They're like, wow, you have a headache, you know? and so they're only going in their physical body. I have the ability to go from universal information, which is the most important information. I have universal knowledge that comes through me. I have spirit knowledge that comes from me. I can go to spirit guides. I can use myself as a medium. I can use myself as an intuitive. I can use myself as a psychic looking at somebody else. So I have the ability to do all of that, which is very, very important. And a lot of people, not saying that the psychics that are out there or the intuitives or the mediums aren't very good at what they do, but I have mastered all those levels. So by being a master of all those levels, I can do any of those things. Yeah. So it's kind of like a fourth grader to a doctor.
I see.
And so I'm more of a doctor than a fourth grader, which is not saying that the fourth graders aren't important. They are very, very important, and nothing against that. It's just a completely different level.
Absolutely. So can you tell us about some of your craziest readings and most interesting readings, I should say? I'm sure they're all interesting, but yeah, maybe just a story or two to get us started.
Oh my God. You know, there have been. I've been on police cases. I have seen murders. I have been actually stalked by murdered individuals that have come looking for me. One of the craziest things I think I've ever had, which sounds kind of silly now that, you know, I've worked at the FBI and CIA and had horrific events and found missing persons and told people about their lives, told people about, you know, you're gonna get married or anything else like that. I was on a radio show one time in Salt Lake City, believe it or not, and this lady calls in as a caller, and she said, Cyd, I need to know if my dachshund puppies are gonna have babies today. Like, excuse me? Really? You're taking me as the person that I am, and that's what you want to know? That's what you want to know completely? And so I laughed, and I thought, but that was really important to her. That's really important to her, for her to be able to know if her dachshund was gonna have puppies. I've had people, a man came in and he wanted to know whether his wife was cheating on him. And I said, do I have to answer that? Because it's really none of your business, actually. And he says, no, I really need to know if my wife's cheating on me. And I said, no, she's not. And so he decided that he was going to bring her in with me, and the two of them together were going to have a conversation with me, and I was going to probably like reveal some big, huge issue with her sleeping around on him. And we sat down, and he says, so you're going to tell me whether she's sleeping around on me? And I said, well, no, but you're sleeping with your secretary. So crazy things can happen. And I've had police officers, like at a table, police officer, a lieutenant, that I was first person on the case. I'm sitting around a table of officers, and I'm telling him about this crime. It's a triple homicide, and he jumps up and he grabs me, like literally goes over the top of the table, and he grabs me around the neck, like right here. And I thought, what are you doing? And he's like, who told you this? How do you know this information? I want to know who's the rat in my unit. And I'm like, sir, you're the only person that I've talked to. So I've had lots of crazy events that happen because of it. And you can never tell what people's reactions are going to be. I've had people argue with me. I've had people say to me, Cyd, oh my God, you're the most amazing thing ever. They want to touch me, they want to hold me, they want to be a part of me. And I've had stalkers, come looking for me, people that want to kill me, people that want to find me in a hotel, and they're like, oh my God, I just want to touch you. Can I just possibly touch you? Which is just reaction, because I think it's really important for people to recognize once they feel my energy, once they know that I'm telling them the truth about something, and once they know that I have a spirit energy that's really connected to spirit, I mean truly connected to spirit, not connected to them. Yes, it's about them, but it's connected to spirit, that they immediately go to a place of, I have information to help their lives. I have information that they're seeking so that they learn how to be okay. They don't know how to be okay. They're trying really hard to be okay. They're trying to be happy. They're trying to have their life manifest how they want it to, and they're scared. A lot of people are really scared, and a lot of people think that they're all alone out here. And you're not. I promise you, there's nothing about you that's alone. And learning how to be by yourself is one thing. You can absolutely be by yourself. But there's not one time in your life, and I guarantee this, that the universe isn't there, that spirit's not there, they're helping you, they're guiding you, they want to be a part of your life. And you're never, ever, ever alone. And the times that you feel the most lonely, and the times that you feel the most afraid is when they're there, is when they're listening, is when they're a part of you. And most people, this is the biggest thing that I can teach human beings and anybody out there, whether you're intuitive, whether you're not. But the best thing that I can teach you is that if you have the ability to quiet your mind, we talk about spirit guides, we talk about angels from the other side, we talk about being psychic, we talk about being a master clairvoyant, we talk about all this stuff. And if you can quiet your mind in some capacity and learn how to be comfortable with it, actually comfortable with it, that you're by yourself and you sit in a chair and you're okay, not necessarily with the circumstances of your life, but you're okay with you, and you can quiet that mind, you can get information. My mind is completely quiet at all times. I don't have conversation in my head. And everybody out there has conversation. We'll argue what we know, we'll argue what we're hearing, we'll argue the information that comes to us. You can walk into a place, a room, and all of a sudden you go, wow, I don't like that person. And you don't know why you don't like that person. I immediately go to a place of, I don't like that person. And I don't have to, not a judgment, I don't have to look at them and say, I need to find out who they are. I need to go find out why we don't get along. I need to find out how they're going to hurt me. I don't want to know how they're going to hurt me. I don't know. I don't have to have the why. But when I listen to, I don't like that, or this doesn't feel good, or wow, you should turn left, Cyd, all these little pieces of information, it's really important to listen to. And because my mind is quiet, it doesn't go back and forth in an argument. Most people start arguing what they already know because they don't understand and they ask the question why. When you have an argument in your head, when you actually start arguing what you've heard, what you feel, what you know, that means you're just confused and you're not asking the correct question. It's important to ask yourself, they told me to turn left, okay, what is left? Just go left and you'll find out. If you say yes to what Spirit's telling you, whether that be a universal information, whether that be your instinct, whether that be a medium, if a spirit is actually in front of you, if a ghost is standing there telling you something, somebody from the other side, listen to what they have to say. You can agree or not agree, but it's still information. And the process of being psychic and the process of having information and making the correct decisions in your life is a real simple thing. It's just about listening. You have to listen. And then when you say yes to what you're listening to, your life starts to grow, your life starts to develop, your life starts to get into the path that you're supposed to have. How many people are out there actually know that they shouldn't be doing something? All of us have done this. Know that they shouldn't be doing something and you're doing it anyway. And you know for a fact you shouldn't be doing this. Like, how many people have gotten married? They'll stand up there and they're thinking, I shouldn't get married, I don't like this, I'm not okay with it, but there's all this pressure about the circumstance because they already said yes, and we put $10,000s of dollars in there for the wedding, and the only thing that you're trying to do is just get down the aisle because you shouldn't be going, and we do it anyway. We concede to it, we allow ourselves to go against what we know, against what we feel, against who we really are, and then we've got to deal with that repercussion at a later date. It becomes nothing but problematic. The whole point about having intuition, the whole point about being psychic, is to give you information to guide you. That's the whole point, is that they want to guide you. They want you to have a good life. So they tell you, don't do that, and then everybody does it anyway. They argue and go, well, I should, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should take that job because I don't have any money. Well, then the job becomes miserable. You don't have any money. Now you have a paycheck, but you're miserable. And you're going to get fired anyway, or you're going to have to quit, which made you pay a couple bills. But in the meantime, you and your husband are arguing completely, or you and your wife are having problems because you're so miserable at work. So it's a completely set of circumstances that keep going in a negative way. People want to have good lives. They want to have the things that they've been looking for. They want to be happy. They want to have the loves of their life. They want to have a good career. They want to have their babies. They want to have all of these things. But you have to learn how to listen to yourself. You have to learn how to listen outside. That's the point of spirit. That's the point of giving information, is to guide you. And it's not about knowing. There's a lot of people that are intuitive. A lot of people are psychic. It's not about knowing that I was right. I can tell you about your life and then go, oh my God, Cyd, you were so right. He is blonde, he's really cute, and he's the guy. It's not about that. It's not about me being right. It's not about the psychic information being right, because the psychic information is correct. It always comes from a correct place. Why would they lie to you? There's no reason for them to lie to you. They're telling you the truth, but then the whole point about being correct is, what are you going to do with it? Okay. You have the cute blonde guy that's going to be with you, but what are you going to do with the relationship? And my first thought is, okay, how are you going to be for him? Not as how he's going to be for you. How are you going to be the best person that you've known, that you've wanted to have, and that you've wanted to be? What is your path now? Where is your responsibility? Where is your accountability to take this relationship to the other level, to take this job to the other level? How are you going to be your best person? Really? It's not that you get granted the job. I can tell you you're going to get a job in August, but what do you have to do in order to have that? What are you going to do in order to do it well, to have the job that you want? Are you taking a job that, yeah, I can tell you you've got a job coming, and so you have a job coming, and I can say, yeah, and you're going to get fired in 3 months because you're not going to like it, so why take it anyway? Sometimes it's a learning process. Absolutely. Sometimes it's just downright defiance. Sometimes people actually sit there and argue me. They will argue everything that I say. They'll argue everything that Spirit's telling them because they want to prove that I'm actually right. So they'll argue me to prove that it's right. Or they'll argue their guides, they'll argue Spirit, they'll argue the information to prove that they're right. It's kind of like when you don't like that person walking into a room, so you go find out that you don't like them, and then you have a disaster happening, and they go, wow, I was right. I was really right that I didn't like them. Look how good I was really psychic. But look at all the huge problems that you had in between that time. Yeah, you were right. So you got the information. What are you going to do with it? Use it as a tool. Use it to empower yourself. Use it to make your life simple, or at least more simple. We all have to learn. We all have to grow. That's the part of being here. But it's really important to have a way of finding yourself so that your life can be effortless, so that your life can be more powerful. So instead of being in reaction to everything all the time, reaction to conflict, reaction to circumstances, reaction to situations, how can you be more powerful in it? We look at CEOs, we look at big corporate heads and stuff like that with lots of conflict around them. We look at the President of the United States, we look at politics, we look at huge people. And if you notice the people that are the most powerful out there, they see the circumstance and they don't become a part of the problem with the circumstance. They look at the circumstance and they say, how can I better this? How am I going to react powerfully in this? How am I going to be in this circumstance or situation? How can this circumstance not define me, but me create an avenue for that circumstance to be correct around us, around where we're going and what we want to achieve? And those are the people that listen to themselves. Those are the people that know where they need to go and that they can change something instead of being in reaction to and just jumping into a circumstance. And all of those circumstances never give you anything but learning that you shouldn't have done the circumstance to begin with. You immediately go to, oh, I did it again. I married the third alcoholic. Look at there. And sooner or later you'll realize you shouldn't probably have married the third alcoholic. Or the fourth guy that you're going to marry, maybe he doesn't need to be one. Or maybe she doesn't need to be one. We all have those lessons to learn. At the same time, we all have something that comes back to us and says, how about effortless? How about being authentic with ourselves? How about being true? How about listening? And when your guides say, turn left when you're driving down the road, turn left. When you get information from Spirit and they say, you probably shouldn't marry that person. You could, but that could be really bad for you. When you do it, guess what? It's going to be really bad for you. The whole point is that they're there to guide you. The whole point is that they're there to govern you. The whole point is to have information to make your life happy. That's all they want. It's all you want, truly. Sometimes we like conflict just so that we learn, but we like to have a happy life. It's important. It's important to be happy sooner or later. If you come to Earth and all you're going to have is misery, why be here? Really? Why be here being miserable to go back to the rest of your life and go, wow, my life was horrible? At the end of the day, when you die at the end of the day, where was there something good? Where did you contribute? Where did you have something that was significant in your life? We can have horrific events. I've worked with missing persons, I've worked with homicides, I've worked with death, I've worked with cancer, I've worked with horrific karmic events with people. And one of the most beautiful things about those horrific events, and I've seen them all, trust me, there isn't one thing that can come onto my table that I haven't experienced or that I don't know how to handle, but I watch those people and that they're all involved in it and they all know that they're learning something from it. And it could be one person in the group, it can be all of the group, but that circumstance is to teach and to help those individuals understand. They help them understand that there's something good. Something good comes out of everything that's bad. And the people that get confused about that are the people that always want to see something bad. Period. That's fact of the matter. They're always looking for something bad because they're a martyr, they're a victim, or they're just here to prove that there's something bad all the time. Which if you're looking for the bad part of it, absolutely you're going to see nothing but bad. If you're looking for nothing but the good part of it, all you're going to see is nothing but good. But there really is a truth in between there somewhere. There's really a truth. And the universe and all the information that you get is really about truth. That's all it is. And the truth can hurt. It can glorify you. It can liberate you. It can help you. But the truth is what the truth is. The sky is blue. Sometimes it can have clouds. Sometimes it has stars in it. But it's still really blue.
Speaking of truth, some people need your truth. So our participants out there have a couple questions for you, if you wouldn't mind answering
Absolutely.
some of them. So, Highball wants to know
Highball.
if they should stop drinking. Yes, Highball would like to know, what kind of signs should I look for from the universe? He's looking for, I guess he wants to hear his spirit guides. Like, is he looking for signs? But you're saying it's just more of an intuition.
You know, some people like
kind
to
of
play games. Yeah, this is
signs?
great. Some people like to play games with signs and stuff like that. And you can play all the games that you want with your guides, excuse me, with your guides, with your angels, with spirit. And you can say, okay, I want to see 3 pink flamingos in the next week. And if I see 3, pink flamingos.
I would like to see 3
Yeah,
pink flamingos
yeah.
next week.
And if I see that, then this is true. Then I really know that this is really going to happen. It's so funny. And sure enough, you'll either see the 3 pink flamingos or you won't, and then you turn around and think to yourself, well, then it must not have been true. Which most people are trying to get an answer that they already know. It's like, does that person like me? They do. But if I really see 3 pink flamingos, then I know for a fact they really like me. But they really like them anyway.
They're making it harder than it
They're
has to be.
making it harder than it has to be. And a lot of people say that signs are important, but some people look for signs. Some people make that it has to be that sign, that in particular sign. Signs come to us very differently. Signs come to us because we're watching for them sometimes. Signs, the true signs though, is when we least expect it. When we're sitting there and all of a sudden something happens to us, a circumstance or an event that happens to us, and we go, wow, did you just see that happen? That was unbelievable. And then it comes in our mind of, I was thinking about that and that took place. Or I was really having a problem with something and then this certain thing took place. But then we immediately discount that too. If you're just looking for signs, we immediately discount it and go, I wonder if I was making that up.
When it's easy, then you
When
can
it's
trust
when
it.
they're showing you everything that you could possibly see, it's like you can be laying there in bed and a spirit, let's say it's your grandfather that passed away a number of years ago, all of a sudden is sitting next to you and says, your daughter's coming to you. And I want to give you your daughter.
Yeah. You always give me tingles when you touch me.
Your daughter's coming to you. And you wake up going, did I really see that? Was that really a sign? It's like, well, yeah. Yeah,
So
so you still people still discount it when they're looking for confirmation. It just is.
I think that's the biggest lesson of the day, that when you feel something, trust yourself. Quiet your mind and trust the sign that's being seen. I think that's why people get so caught up and it doesn't really work, is because they just don't trust what they're getting, maybe.
But they don't trust what they're getting. They don't trust that they're getting. But if I tell you turn left and you don't turn left, then you know for a fact that if you didn't turn left, that there's all of a sudden cars here. Yeah. Well, I should have turned left then. And if you turn left and nothing happens, then people go, well, I don't know what happened, because I turned left and nothing happened. Well, thank God, because you didn't get stuck in traffic. Who knows?
Here is Sammy Sam has a question.
Sammy Sam.
And Sammy Sam is a little more advanced. He says, how come my grandmother always comes through, but not anybody else?
Great question. A lot of spirits only have the ability to do it, but you think that you're the one that's the psychic enough to see spirits. I am so beyond psychic. My grandmother died a number of years ago, who was one of my very best friends, beautiful, lovely lady, and I've not seen her once. She can't come to me. She doesn't have the ability to come to me at all. It's not that I can't see spirits. I can see dead people all day long. But
are they here now? Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
She would freak out if I actually said, yeah, there's one standing right here, right behind her.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No, it's fine. I hope you're not.
I was just joking with it. It's like, oh, wait a minute, where is he? Some people have the ability as spirits to be able to do that. Other people don't. And it doesn't matter whether they're adult, whether they're children. I've seen spirits that are this big walking around going, hi, Finn. I'm like, hi. So it's really the spirit. It has nothing to do with the ability of the person at all. Because some people don't feel that they're psychic at all, like at all. And a spirit can walk in my house and they go, did you see that? Did you see that person? And they walk by and it's really the spirit's control. The spirit goes, oh, you'll see me, or I'm not gonna. So it has nothing to do with your ability.
Really? Oh, that's really interesting. I have one more. Flavia De Leon, it's a fancy name. She's advanced as well. She says, sometimes I feel things too much. Can I turn it off? Why would you want to? Yeah.
Well, first of all, that's the question of the day, because I've tried to turn it off my whole life.
Oh, wow.
I literally spent 6 years, and this is no exaggeration, I spent 6 years of my life not sleeping because I couldn't turn it off. I didn't know how to turn it off. And Can you turn it off? I have not learned how to be able to completely turn it off, and no, you should not want to, but it's really about being able to learn how to tap into something and then to be able to let it go, okay? So breathing immediately will put me into something. Like right now, I'm not reading her at all. I'm not reading her, but I can turn around and look at her and go, and I can tap into her instantly and know everything about her life. So you can control it. You can't turn it off because you always have to have that heightened sense. Once you have it, you'll always have it. You can control it a little bit just by breathing differently. And because she will understand that.
Yeah.
If she breathes differently, if you breathe fast, you can't stop it. If you breathe nice and gentle and slow in your body, you're actually able to calm your body. A lot of people have the ability to look at things, but when they breathe deep, their mind quiets.
Huh. Well, thank you so much for sharing with
pleasure.
us today. It's been absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad you have this gift. And thank all of you for joining us with Cyd the Psychic today.